I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much to my Bibliospren, Bibliohowlers, and my Bibliomancers. It means a lot to me that you give me your extra support for my passion and hobby. Hi everyone, Patek here. Today's video will be SFF Spotlight episode 25. So that means we're getting closer to the 1-year anniversary of SFF Spotlight. Like always, we will have to start immediately because we have a lot of topics to talk about, more than 20 topics. And for those of you who are new here, this is a series of videos where I talk about new book news, new cover reveals, new special edition, and new noteworthy release in the science fiction and adult fantasy genre. And the first one isn't actually about a book, but this is about an essay written by Brandon Sanderson. But I think it is so worth taking a look. I have mentioned plenty of times that Brandon Sanderson's his Mistborn Trilogy is the series that sparked my love for reading fantasy novels. I do not think my life will be, well, the same as it is now without me reading Mistborn Trilogy. And the essay by Brandon Sanderson is so well written. I think many of you will be able to relate to the essay regarding the importance of reading and writing. And of course, stories as well. I absolutely love reading that essay. I highly recommend it. If I can actually give a rating to an essay, well, I will have to give that one a 5 out of 5 stars. It was well written. It was so emotional. The title of the essay is Outside, and whether you are a fan of Brandon Sanderson's books or not, I think that essay is so worth the read. You should take a look at it. And one more thing before I talk about book, and this is, well, it is devastating news for me anyway, because I am an international reader and it has been announced that Book Depository is finally closing down at the end of April, at the end of this month. This is an incredibly sad news for me. I buy the majority of my books using Book Depository. And yes, I know I have another option, and that is Blackwell's, and sometimes I do buy books using Blackwell's. I am an affiliate at Blackwell's as well. But books from Blackwell's somehow take about 5 or 6 months before they arrive at my place. So right now, well, let's just say that I'm really sad by this decision. I've been using Book Depository for more than 6 years now, and I cannot believe that it is closing down. And if you are an international reader who also uses Book Depository and you don't know about this news, well, make sure to ask for refunds if you have a pre-order available right now on Book Depository. Again, this is a really sad news, and I guess I will just take it as a sign that I have to limit my book buying. And moving on to true book news, and this news might be a bit late, but I want to mention it in my SFF Spotlight. So Jim Butcher has announced that Olympian Affair, the second book in the Cinder Spires, is now turned in for editing. Yes, this is the long-awaited sequel to Aeronaut's Windlass. I haven't read Aeronaut's Windlass yet. I heard plenty of great things about it. I think it is a steampunk fantasy series. And on top of that, Jim Butcher also mentioned that he's writing the next book in the Dresden Files series. Well, for the Dresden Files, I have read it and I have really enjoyed my time reading this urban fantasy series. I look forward to reading the next installment in the series as soon as possible. It is an incredibly popular urban fantasy series for many good reasons, and I think I can safely say that this, once the news is out, the news of the publication date, this will be included in many readers' lists of most anticipated books. And speaking of most anticipated book, the next book that has been finished by the author is Royce and Hadrian. Yes, the newest installment in Royce and Hadrian's story, Drumindor, is finally finished. Michael J. Sullivan hasn't announced the release date for this one yet, but this fifth installment in the Riyria Chronicles, the prequel series to the Riyria Revelations, is easily one of my most anticipated books because Riyria Chronicles is just so good. I can certainly say that Riyria Chronicles is actually more well written compared to the Riyria Revelations, even if Revelations is more epic in scope. I think fans of Royce and Hadrian who have read and finished the Riyria Revelations will understand the significance of the name Drumindor. This will most likely be a day one read for me whenever it's ready. So that's it for the coverage on new book news. For the next section, apparently Chocoboy want to be included, so here it is. Ta-da! Yeah. What do you want? You want to talk? Come on, speak. Yeah, he has spoken enough words. So let's talk a bit about new TV show announcement. So it has been revealed that the season 2 of House of the Dragon TV show adaptation will contain only 8 episodes. That's less than the number of episodes contained in season 1. I don't know how I feel about this, but as long that they manage to pull it off nicely, I will be satisfied. But the thing is, with TV show adaptation lately, it feels like there is not enough episodes per season to give a very satisfying conclusion to the particular season in a particular series. Hopefully that won't be the case for House of the Dragon, because I really love season 1 and I hope season 2 will be as amazing. And right now it is projected that season 2 will premiere in summer 2024. And that's not the only news regarding to A Song of Ice and Fire. HBO is discussing the possibility of a movie or a TV show adaptation regarding the first Aegon Targaryen. I hope this will come to fruition. I have always wanted a TV show or movie adaptation regarding the first arrival of Aegon the Conqueror. I was actually quite surprised and slightly disappointed that House of the Dragon Season 1 didn't begin from the arrival of Aegon the Conqueror. So yeah, hopefully this will come true and hopefully it will be well adapted. So that's pretty much it for TV show adaptation news, but there is one anime news I want to mention. The Season 2 trailer for Jujutsu Kaisen, the anime, is out now and the trailer looks amazing. I have read the manga series and you know what? The events that happen in this anime will be so damn cool. If you are a fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, this will be so worth the wait, and the premiere date will be on July 6. July 6, 2023. I look forward to watching it as soon as it's available. I cannot wait for it. And before I move on to talking about a special edition, I want to mention one more thing. A Solo Leveling manhwa spin-off has been announced, and look how excited he is at that news. So Solo Leveling is one of my favorite manhwa of all time, and yeah, there is a new sequel spin-off being announced. I hope it will be as good as Solo Leveling. The title of the spin-off is Solo Leveling Ragnarok, and I cannot say too much regarding the premise here because it is a bit of a spoiler. But let's just say that I am very much looking forward to reading Solo Leveling Ragnarok as well. Okay, come on. Yeah, he got bored. Now let's talk about new special edition, and the first one is the announcement for the artist that will illustrate the special edition for Jade City by Fonda Lee. In the new newsletter from Fonda Lee, it has been announced that Micah Epstein will be doing the illustration for Jade City, both cover art and also interior illustrations. This book will be published by Subterranean Press, just like the Jade Setter of Jan Loon and Jade Shard's novella. Micah Epstein is a terrific artist. I think he's really up there with Tommy Arnold as far as quality of artwork goes, and yes, I consider Tommy Arnold and of course Micah Epstein as well some of the best artists in the fantasy and sci-fi genre. So it makes me pretty excited that Micah Epstein will be doing the illustration for Jade City, and I think the entire Greenbone saga as well. There is no pre-order or release date for Jade City Subterranean Press yet. I think the pre-order date will appear next year. That's my prediction anyway, but I hope it won't be too expensive. Only 600 copies will be available for the signed and numbered edition, and then there are 26 lettered edition. So as you can probably guess, not all who own Jade Shards will be able to own Jade City and, well, Jade War and of course Jade Legacy. I will do my best to gain myself a copy of Jade City Subterranean Press edition because it is one of my top favorite series of all time. As you can probably tell, it will be difficult to attain a copy of Jade City Subterranean Press edition. And speaking of difficulty in gaining a copy, to those of you who watch my unboxing and preview of the Dragonbone chair by Ted Williams, Grim Oak Press edition, I think some of you might know that the book is sold out now. But, well, here's the good news. Grim Oak Press just announced on Monday, April 17th, the remaining copies of the Dragonbone chair, the exact edition, the exact limited edition that I own, will be available to order once again. This will probably be the last time you can order a copy of the Dragonbone chair limited edition by Grim Oak Press. So if you are looking forward to get yourself a copy, make sure to mark this date on your calendar. And now let's talk about Kickstarter campaign, and the first one is related to Grim Oak Press. So on April 11th, the Kickstarter campaign for The King Killing Queen by Shawn Speakman will goes live. I think the cover art by Magali Villeneuve is absolutely gorgeous, and the interior artist behind The King Killing Queen will be Donato Giancola. Donato Giancola did the cover art and interior art of the Dragonbone chair limited edition I just talked about, and I cannot wait to see what kind of illustrations will be available in The King Killing Queen by Shawn Speakman. On top of that, there is also a graphic novel prequel to The King Killing Queen with an artwork by Nate Taylor. The title is The Briar Sword Monks. So yeah, Shawn Speakman and Skybound really went all out for this Kickstarter campaign. So if you are interested in getting yourself a copy, make sure to mark April 11th on your calendar as well. And speaking of going all out, this might be the first time you're hearing about this special edition. This upcoming Kickstarter campaign is for the leather-bound omnibus edition of Threadlight Trilogy by Zach Argyle. The Kickstarter campaign hasn't gone live yet, but the Kickstarter page is up now. So if you are interested in getting yourself a copy of this beautiful edition, make sure to check out the Kickstarter page right now. I think the leather-bound edition looks absolutely stunning. It will contain the complete trilogy, the complete Threadlight trilogy. It will come in a spray edges. It will be signed by the author. The omnibus will be leather-bound, just like Brandon Sanderson's Dragon Steel leather-bound edition. It will come with custom artworks by Randy Vargas and Omer Burak Onal, and also the foiled cover art and the design. All of them are done by Madeline Design. Just take a look at this cover art. It looks shiny, it looks beautiful and luxurious. I haven't read the Threadlight trilogy by Zach Argyle yet, but I heard so many great things about this trilogy, especially if you are someone who loves reading Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson and also Lightbringer by Brent Wicks. And it is predicted that the Kickstarter campaign for this one will go live 2 weeks from now. I will mention it once more once it goes live. There are still 2 more Kickstarter campaigns to mention, and these 2 have gone live. And the first one is Cut Mage by Benedict Patrick. This one features 2 cover art. The first one is done by Antti Hakosari, and the other one, the Kickstarter exclusive cover art edition, will feature a cover art by Jenny Zemanek. Personally, I love the standard edition more, the cover art of the standard edition more, with an artwork done by Antti Hakosari. But you know what? Both cover art looks beautiful. You cannot go wrong with choosing any one of them, and I think you can actually get both from the Kickstarter campaign. And also, this book, Cut Mage, will display interior illustrations, many of them done by Dennis Korneff. Dennis Korneff is an amazing artist. He did the interior illustrations for Ben Gelly's special edition books, The Written and Pale King, and I think we can expect the 3rd Kickstarter to appear soon. So yeah, take a look at the Kickstarter campaign. It has gone live now. And the last Kickstarter campaign to mention on today's episode will be for Legends and Lattes high quality enamel pen and bookmark. All art will be done by Christina Hassan, and this is done in partnership with Wraithmarked Creative. When it comes to project or books published by Wraithmarked Creative, Kickstarter projects, I think you can expect great quality and they will always deliver. So if you are a fan of Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, I know there are many of you. This is one of the most recent popular fantasy book in the past 2 years or more. I think you owe it to yourself to take a look at the Kickstarter page for the enamel pin and bookmark of Legends and Lattes. I really think that Christina Hassan did a great job with the enamel pins and the bookmark. And the last special edition to talk about today will be for the Fairy Loot edition of the Drowning Empire trilogy by Andrea Stewart. The first book is The Bone Shard Daughter. The second book is The Bone Shard Emperor, which I just finished last month. And the third and final book is The Bone Shard War, which I will read and also will be released this month. I think the Fairy Loot edition of the Drowning Empire looks beautiful, and also it will come with a custom and paper art by Mona Vinden. I love seeing how the color blue gets darker as the series progresses, depicting the color of the depth of the sea as it gets darker and deeper. I really enjoy this trilogy, but I have no idea whether I will be able to secure a copy of this one or not. Also, I wish this book, the special edition, comes with an interior artworks. It would have made the special edition looks even more awesome. Now we move on to the 3rd section of SFF Spotlight. It is time to talk about new cover reveals. Today we have 5 new cover reveals to talk about. The first one is for The Navigator's Children by Ted William. The cover art has been revealed. It is done by the same artist who did the cover art of the 3rd book, Into the Narrow Dark. And although I wouldn't actually say this is a bad cover art, but I'm still sad over the change in cover artist. I miss the cover art by Michael Whelan for the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, and also the first book in the Last King of Boston art. Empire of Grass features one of the best cover art I've ever seen to grace a fantasy book, and it is such a shame. It is such a shame that the 3rd and 4th novel in the Last King of Boston art won't have a cover art done by Michael Whelan. But yeah, the cover art of The Navigator Children is out, and I will start reading the Dragonbone chair next month. And the next cover reveal to spotlight will be for The Hawkling by Rebecca Zahabi. I haven't read this series yet, but the cover art of the series looks great. It features cover art done by Jungshan Inc. Jungshan Inc. is the one who did the cover art for the Poppy War trilogy by Rebecca Kwong, and I love the ink style used for this cover art as well. Hopefully the books, whenever I get around to them, will be as good as the cover art. And the last traditionally published cover reveal to talk about today will be for Art of Destiny by Wesley Chu. This is the sequel to Art of Prophecy, And it is the second book in the War Art saga. Once again, the cover art is done by Tran Nguyen. I love it so much. I love the blue color. I love how Asian inspired and wuxia the cover art immediately portrayed. I actually think that the cover art of the second book, Art of Destiny, is actually better than the first book, even though they're done by the same artist. Don't get me wrong, the cover art of the first book is great already, but this one is simply better. The US edition is published by Del Rey Books, and the UK edition is published by Daphne Press. And personally speaking, I like the UK edition more because I think the design matches the cover art better. But the first book, I heard plenty of great things about it. Elliot Brooks has praised it so much, and one of my friends from Bookstagram, Brenda, has praised it highly too. So I think there is a really good chance I will end up loving the War Art saga whenever I get around to them, either this year or at the latest next year. The last two cover reveals to mention today, both of them are for self-published fantasy books. And the first one is for The Children of the Black Moon by Joseph John Lee. This is the second book in the Spellbinders and Gunslinger series. I haven't read the first book yet, even though I did the cover reveal for both books now on Twitter and also on my blog, Novel Notions. So I need to apologize to the author for this. I will get around to this as soon as I can. But the cover art is once again done by Felix Ortiz with the design by Shawn King, and yeah, I think it looks great. And the same situation goes to the next cover reveal and the last cover reveal of today's episode, and that is for Spire Climbers by Rob J. Hayes. This is the second book in the Titan Harper series, the second out of 6 books, and once again the cover art is done by Mansik Young and it is designed by Shawn King. This book will be released I think at the end of this month, and I love the cover art. Mansik Young is a great artist, such a great artist, and I think Rob J. Hayes actually mentioned he want the cover art to be reminiscent of Vi from Arcane, and well, I think Mansik Young certainly delivers on that front. If I'm not mistaken, this is one of Rob J. Hayes' best-selling series, and I look forward to reading this, well, again, as soon as I can. I have so many review requests and advanced reading copies to get through on top of my overwhelming TBR pile. So yeah, it might not be soon, but it all depends on my reading mood. And finally, let's move on to the topic of noteworthy release. We have 3 books to spotlight today. The first one is The Captain by Will Wight. I am not sure whether this is a part of the same universe with Cradle or not, but I know this is a new series, a new book and a new series by Will Wight. I think it is a sci-fi book. At this moment, I must say, I don't have too much interest in reading this one. My interest right now lies solely with Waybound, the final book in the Cradle series, but after that, we'll see whether my interest for this one will spark or not. But yeah, the newest book by Will Wight is out now, and I know there are so many fans of Will Wight, and if somehow you don't know about this news, well, now you know, and the book is out. And the next noteworthy release is for the Rascor Plains by Phil Tucker. This is the second book in the Immortal Great Soul series, the sequel to Bastion. I haven't finished reading Bastion yet. I actually put it down, I think, in the halfway mark. I really need to give it a try again, but back then I remember feeling a bit too overwhelmed by the page count, or maybe feeling like I'm not in the right reading mood for Bastion back then. The cover art for Rascor Plains is done by Mansik Young as well, and I will give Bastion a try again as soon as I can. I have to find out for sure whether my decision to actually DNF a Bastion was due to my wrong reading mood, or maybe it is because the book did not click for me. And lastly, the last noteworthy release and the last topic of today's video will be for Soul by J.Q. Davis and Kathy Gerson. So it is this book. I don't know if you can see it here or not, but yeah, this one is the Kickstarter hardback edition with a lot of artworks done by the same artist. Sorry, I meant by the authors, and they're all fully colored. I think it is a beautiful book. I haven't got around to reading it yet, but I think people who have actually given it a try, most of them felt positive about the book, so I think it might be a great debut novel. If not, well, you know what? There are so many gorgeous artworks inside it, and I think that is a huge plus inside this novel. But the ebook edition is out now, and I think it actually contains all the illustrations inside this hardback edition as well. So that's it for today's episode of SFF Spotlight. I want to say thank you so much once again for always watching my videos, especially this series of videos, and well, all my videos, really. It means a lot to me. And do let me know what you think about the news that I spotlight today. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.